From a provincial perspective, on June 2nd, Ontario's stay-at-home order was allowed to expire. And then today, the province announced that they're moving into step 1 of its roadmap to reopen at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, June 11th. So all public health and workplace safety measures that are currently in place will remain in effect until that time. And step 1 of the roadmap is going to focus on the resumption of more outdoor activities with smaller crowds where risk of transmission is lower. It's going to permit more limited indoor settings to be open, all with restrictions in place. So while we are still waiting for the update to the regulation itself, based on what we have seen of the roadmap so far, I'm going to provide you with a few examples of what's anticipated in step 1. As of June 11th, activities anticipated to be including but not limited to, so there will be outdoor social gatherings and organized public events with up to 10 now instead of 5. Outdoor dining with up to 4 people per table, with exceptions for larger households. So we'll see the patios begin to reopen, not just curbside and delivery. Outdoor fitness classes and outdoor groups and personal training. Outdoor individual team sports will be permitted with up to 10 people, among the restrictions, of course. And we'll see day camps for children permitted to operate, again with guidelines for COVID-19 that the Office of the Chief Medical Officer of Health have produced. There will be outdoor religious services, rites or ceremonies, so weddings and funeral services, and that will be capped at the number of people that can maintain that physical distance of 2 meters. Indoor religious services, rites or ceremonies, permitted at up to 15% capacity of the room. We'll see non-essential retail permitted at 15% capacity with no restrictions on those goods. And we'll see essential and other select retail permitted at 25% capacity. And so that's just to name a few. There will be others, and we always look to review the regulations itself because there can be discrepancies between the announcements and then what's actually permitted. In addition to that, school boards for public and private elementary and high schools are going to be permitted for brief outdoor end-of-year celebrations. Public health and workplace safety measures will continue to apply during step 1. So that's physical distancing, capacity limits, and wearing face coverings in indoor spaces whenever physical distancing is a challenge outside as well. The province is anticipating that they'll stay in step 1 for at least 21 days, and that's to allow them to evaluate and monitor the impacts of the key public health and health system indicators. So the province wants to move into step 2 of the roadmap if at the end of that 21 days they have vaccinated 70% of adults with 1 dose and 20% of adults with 2 doses. And of course, they'll continue to monitor those key performance indicators before moving into it to make sure there's hospital capacity, that people are vaccinated, and that case counts aren't going up. So regarding vaccinations, we've had an increased supply of vaccines. So the province has invited individuals age 70 and over and individuals who received their first dose of Pfizer or Moderna, tongue twister there, on or before April 18th to book that accelerated second dose appointment. So that's ahead of schedule, nice to see. And Ontario is expecting to receive quite a few more doses, 4.7 million of the Pfizer in June and approximately 3.5 million in July, and they've already received almost 200,000 extra doses of Moderna. Good news from a COVID-19 rapid testing perspective as well. So a couple weeks ago, I mentioned it was coming to Niagara-on-the-Lake. Well, it has arrived. So we now have the COVID-19 rapid antigen self-screening kits. They're quick, they're easy, and it's free right now for small and medium-sized businesses with 150 employees or less. So that's being managed by the Chamber of Commerce in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And the distribution is operating Tuesday to Thursday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. by appointment. So you can visit the portal, which opened 2 weeks ago. It already has more than 1,200 requests so far. And the portal's at www.niagaraonthelake.com/rapid screening. So from a novel vaccine perspective, There have been additional vaccine clinics added in Niagara region, and we are seeing our new one being held at the community center on June 21st. So all clinics starting June 14th are going to be youth and family friendly. So we're excited to be able to host another vaccine clinic right here in our own town. From a statistics perspective, effective today at just before noon, Niagara Region's website was reporting that 60.3% of Niagara residents have been vaccinated with their first dose, and that's approximately 319,000 doses administered. I'll give you a few of the stats that are have changed or are particularly relevant. So 99% of the 80 plus population and 99% of the 75 to 79 population have been vaccinated. And we saw a big increase in the areas of 18 to 29 years of age and the 12 to 17. So they're at 47% for 18 to 29 and 22% for the 12 to 17 years old. That's a big jump from my last update, which was 17% and 0% respectively. So what does all of this mean to Noddle? What's open and what's closed? So I'll talk first about our patio program. We've done a significant amount of review of the temporary patio program applications. And so we have been able to submit about half of the applicants' permits already, with the caveat, of course, that they have to wait until it's permissible under the regulations. And we're hoping to have the rest of them either issued by end of day tomorrow or comments back where there are things that need to be adjusted, like the COVID-19 safety plan or things of that nature. So we're putting a big push on to support our businesses so that when they're able to open, they can do so. It's getting pretty hot out, so lots of questions that we've had about water features and what will happen with that, as well as summer camps. So we're excited to be able to provide our well-loved summer camp and swim programs to our residents again this year. Of course, this is all pending the regulations, but as it stands right now, we're expecting 9 weeks of summer camp to be offered to kids age 6 to 12. There are many weekly themes to choose from, so lots of fun for the kids. The weeks are capped at 25 campers per week, and we have 125 children registered so far. And then from a swimming lesson perspective, we have private and semi-private lessons being offered at the Niagara Pool, located in Memorial Park, and at St. David's Pool, located in the St. David's Lion Club Park. So it's two week-long sessions at each of those pools. And then there will be other swimming opportunities available to the public, including swim team, lane swims, family swims, and pool rentals. The plan is for the preseason open June 19th, 20th, 26th, and 27th. Both of those pools, as well as the wading pool located in Simcoe Park, are planned to open for the season on June 28th. So stay tuned for more information on that as it becomes available to us. And as you know, our splash pad is open and has already received a lot of great use. We opened that just as soon as we possibly could when the regulations changed last time. For more information on any of that, it's noddle.org/content/pools splash pads. Now the community center remains closed at this time because interior uses are still restricted. So we'll watch to see when that's able to open in the upcoming steps of the 3-step roadmap. Before I move on, I just want to send a special thanks to our Parks and Rec staff who are really working hard to get things ready for the exciting summer season, fingers crossed. So thank you to them. Now the digital signs that were being displayed at the high traffic entrances to town, so we were using those to educate the public about provincial regulations. We're going to actually remove those. They were a very useful reminder. However, as we move into step 1, and because they've been up for some time now, they're losing their efficacy. So we're going to take those down. There is a cost associated with it, and certainly if it helps, we leave it up, but we don't think in the emergency control group that they're as successful as they were in the beginning. And then washrooms, they continue to be open to the public and be sanitized and cleaned regularly. So we have the washrooms at Memorial Park, Market Street, Simcoe Park, Queens Royal Park and Virgil Sports Park open the 7 days a week from 8 till 8. So I'll switch over to the traffic update and enforcement update. So from a traffic perspective, we gains on increase in traffic this weekend over last weekend. So I think we can probably expect to see this increase happening now that the weather's getting better. We saw 11,844 cars entered. The weekend prior was 10,750. So that's about a 10% increase. We had been requested to put the traffic updates on our website, and so that will go live shortly. We're anticipating that will go live on Thursday. So we have a nice graphics to show people how it's trending over time, and then when we've got peaks and valleys in terms of traffic, as well as just giving the week-to-week count. So we'll provide the information going back as well to when I first started giving these updates so people can see it over time. So hopefully by next week, I'll be able to report that that's up and live. Bell Media campaign, now that has officially ended. So it went until the 23rd. So we're just in the process of putting together a report. And so council will receive a report summarizing the results of this campaign. Good time, I think, as we move into step one, we'll stop this, but we'll continue with the traffic counts. So for this update, I can tell you that this past weekend, entering into Noddle, we saw 87,000 unique devices approximately. 55% of people were coming from Niagara, 27% from the GTA. So that's down about 14% from last week. Oh, yes, last week. I was going to say the last reporting period, but that's last week. And 6% from Hamilton, which is down 1% as well. In Old Town, we saw 35,000 unique devices, 61% coming from Niagara, which is up 15% from last week, 20% from the GTA, which is down 20%, and then 6% from Hamilton, so up 2% in that area. Now, from an enforcement perspective, as expected, the warm weather brought a great deal of visitors and residents out to the downtown over the weekend. However, the COVID complaint account was surprisingly quiet with only a few minor issues. Unlike last week, residents and visitors generated few concerns with respect to social gatherings and the stay-at-home order, and there were also no calls or complaints related to short-term rentals this week. The parks, however, were very, very busy. And while staff were there ensuring COVID-19 compliance, staff also educated 8 different groups regarding non-permitted barbecues in the parks. So that's related to our parks bylaw. So they're trying to educate on a variety of things while they're there. Also, while at Ryerson Park, staff removed approximately 10 of the ground signs that we had seen about the slow down. So that concern was addressed. And then with more good weather this coming weekend and the province entering step 1 of the roadmap to reopening, we expect the number of visitors will likely see totals close to what we saw in the fall. From a parking perspective, we issued 178 parking tickets, and we expect that parking will require more attention from parking staff as the province reopens. So the enforcement staff are continuing to work to ensure we are available to respond to COVID-19 complaints. Much staff time will be consumed just addressing inquiries in the next couple of weeks because we're moving into the step 1 and then subsequently into other steps. But the staff continues to try to find that balance between COVID enforcement and the growing number of just typical day-to-day issues that you would see with the summer season upon us. And of course, I'll just remind you that any community members looking to report contraventions are asked to do so at the covidcomplaints@noddle.com email. It just allows us to respond quickly and track all of the concerns so we can put our attention to where we're seeing the most concerns arise. Now on to some good news. So the STEP Challenge, it officially launched on June 1st. We have 175 participants, which is the most we've ever had. And I am on a team, and I want to report to my team that during our breaks, I've been stepping away. So we are seeing a lot of people get out and get some exercise, which is great. June is a month of acknowledgements and celebrations. So I'm going to miss one inevitably, but it's Pride Month, it's National Indigenous History Month, it's Seniors Month, and it's Parks and Recreation Month, to name a few. So the town always looks forward to recognizing the important occasions in meaningful and engaging ways. So I'll just tell you a little bit about some of the things we're doing in acknowledgement. For Pride Month, the Pride flag was raised on June 1st. There were Pride posters created that the Inclusivity Committee had designed, and it has been shared on all of the town social media channels, inviting individuals and businesses to print and hang the posters in their windows. So you'll see them here at Town Hall. The Lord Mayor and I are proud to have these posters hanging in our office windows as well. And we also have another program with sidewalk rainbows and pride colors. So we're using our social media to encourage residents and community members to show their pride by sharing pictures of themselves wearing pride colors or drawing and sharing chalk rainbows in their driveways. For Indigenous History Month, this will also be acknowledged on the town social media channels with various messages of recognition. Staff has reached out to the Niagara Regional Native Center regarding additional initiatives and asking them how they would like to be further acknowledged and what we can do to help support. So we're awaiting some details on that in terms of how we can best acknowledge and support Indigenous History Month. Seniors Month. So Niagara-on-the-Lake is very proud to be home of thousands of vibrant and wonderful senior citizens. It's a beautiful place, and that's in large part because of the hard work and vision that we see of so many of the seniors living amongst us who give so much of their time in this community. I've never actually seen that much commitment before by any particular group, but our seniors are just so supportive, having decades of experience that they freely share with us. So thank you to the seniors, and stay tuned for some exciting ways the town intends to honor them. And Parks and Rec Month. So June is declared as Parks and Rec Month to increase awareness about the benefits and importance of Parks and Rec for the physical, social, and environmental health, and to encourage people to become more active and engaged in their communities. I would say that now, probably more than ever, Parks and Rec meet a fundamental human need that helps to foster personal health, a strong sense of community, and social inclusion, where it's been very challenging in the pandemic to have that. Our spectacular parks here in Niagara-on-the-Lake, which are simply beautiful, offer that to people. So this month we honor our Parks and Rec team. They're a dedicated team of professionals who tirelessly provide critical services to the health and vitality of our community. I had the opportunity to go out today and see some of our horticulture staff doing their amazing work in the gardens downtown, and just a fantastic job. I was so proud. So a big shout out to them, and please join me in congratulating them for their contributions and acknowledging them for making this community a better place to work, live, and play. And the last thing I have to say is welcome back to Councillor Burrows. I know others have said it today, but I would be remiss if I didn't say we're so delighted to have you back with us.